For Brew again. It's Thursday. Hope everyone's having a good week. I'd like to say Gavin Buckland joins me now. Gav, how are you doing, mate? You okay?
All right, so I've been on antibiotics for 9 days. It was my first night on the ale last night since Bank Holiday Monday.
Oh, but you were devastated.
To say, I've felt better.
I bet you were devastated when I messaged you. So can you do a video at 9 a.m. on Thursday?
Well, I'm working from home, Matt. So I mean, to be fair, I have to get up reasonably early, anyway. So reasonably early. It's not a problem really. It's just I woke up this morning and I thought, why do you drink?
What was your?
What are the benefits? I was seeing no benefits whatsoever of being on the ale. You know what I mean? And I feel I'm okay now. I'm seeing you, of course, and made me feel better. But my voice is a bit. I've had a few beers,
Oh, sound fantastic as ever. What was your tip of the choice?
Oh, Budweiser, yeah. It's only because you can get it quite, you can access it quite quickly, can't it? I'm not one of these people. I was talking to somebody yesterday, say about making cocktails in the lockdown. Absolutely no chance, Yeah. I think it's your age thing, isn't it? Traditional. I mean, ale. I mean, there's beers now that, like, when I was younger, it just disappeared. Mild. I mean, you can't even get a pint of bitter now in most pubs. When you go in, it's all craft ale, craft beers and fine ales and stuff, which is just not my bag, and so it's funny. Like, they're just a pint. Do you know what a pint of 50 is?
I have no idea.
That's its age thing. That's a pint of half lager, half bitter. The one when the first
sounds horrible.
Yeah, and it was, yeah. The one when I first started drinking, which was really popular, which is very much an early 80s drink, was Snakebite. Which was,
I know what that is, yeah.
Which was half cider, half lager, and I think quite a combustible alcoholic mix. And I think a lot of places, banned it. We used to send people a bit loopy. I remember going to the old Star and Garter pub in St John's Precinct. What's England versus West Germany in the 1982 World Cup, and having like 5 or 6 pints of Snakebite, and like, it's not good.
Just about managed to find your way home after that, I imagine.
Yeah. Well, it's you never learn, do you? You never learn. Last night, drinking at home, it's just so easy for it to get out of hand. I'll have another before I go to bed, and stuff.
Yeah.
And I've been running this Twitter account now, Everton's 84-85 season. I did the Bayern game last night, so like lots of stuff going on, and getting into the swing of things, But so funny, isn't it? Somebody said on Twitter the other day, it's like being a teenager again. You're being told when you can go out, you can't buy a drink at a pub, I think that's pretty much how we all feel, I think, a little bit. It's all like being teenagers again in some respects.
Yeah, great way of summing it up, that. You mentioned the cocktails there. That's something I think my missus is going to start doing. We went to our shop yesterday and she bought a big bottle of Kahlua. So we're going to make some espresso martinis for some white Russians for me this weekend. So she's got the set and everything. So I think that's going to be a new.
Enjoy, Matt. So you won't be doing these video calls next week at 9 o'clock,
well, if you don't do them at the weekend, maybe that's for good reason.
Yeah, that's popular, isn't it? 9 o'clock of a Sunday morning, Yeah. And the more important thing is hair. What are you doing about your hair?
I'm just going to let it go, mate. Yeah. I was going to say, it's about, like we were saying before, so mine's about there now.
Yeah.
So I was speaking before we started, obviously, and I was saying this is sort of like my usual hair length. Whereas, like, we've had guests on this week. I mean, we had Mark Mosey on yesterday, and he usually has traditionally really short hair, and he like pulled his fringe down to about here. He was like, "Oh, I can't cope. It's getting really long now." It's like, "Oh, come on, everyone." It's fine.
I do feel guilty, I think, when I was in the Blue Room, but a few months ago, going into Radio City and giving me a bit of stick about, like, you need to tidy yourself up. But I did feel guilty about it, to be fair, especially coming from me, And I think we said when we did when we did the Borussia Mönchengladbach game a couple of weeks ago, with Les, and I was saying about, when people find they've got hidden skills, we discovered my daughter is a boss hairdresser, even though she's never cut hair in her life. And, so she did my son's hair a couple of weeks ago. He looks like Dave Hickson. Got Dave Hickson hair, And I think I'm reaching that time now where I think I need a bit of a chop, So it'd be interesting. You may not see me for a week or two afterwards, It is that old saying, I think we said before. I said the difference, years ago, difference between a good haircut and a bad haircut's about 2 weeks. So you can, if it doesn't go right, Matt, you can have that as compensation.
In 2 weeks' time, I'm going to be in a bad way, you reckon?
Yeah, 2 weeks. It's just, it's funny, isn't it? It's just, it's just weird, isn't it? It's just, it's certainly this. You said about the shirt, by the way. And here's mine.
We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that at the end.
Yeah. I brought it with me. We'll talk about it later. A bit of a story behind that, actually. But
brilliant stuff. But just in general, how have you been coping with it all? Then you said you've been
busy. I've got a couple of shall we say, projects on the go at the moment, and everybody's been. Like lots of stuff about, because loads of people have been doing retro articles and stuff with yourselves. It's been great and all that. So it's been really busy. It opens up another avenue, hasn't it? Really, of just Everton. Talking about Everton, talking about different things, being imaginative. So it has been quite busy and really interesting. Social media has been surprisingly well mannered, hasn't it? Really, in these days. Because there's been no football, so it has been strange. You get into the position now, actually, where the problem now is I think people are quite used to it, aren't they? When I work home anyway a lot of the time, so that's not really, apart from going to match and socialising, it's pretty much the same for me. But it's weird, isn't it? Whenever you get back to normal, whatever that is, that's going to be a challenge, isn't it? For a lot of people, I think people will be shattered after a week when they get back to, the hurly-burly of everyday life, which you're not having at the moment. Rather than people going back into normality, whatever that is, really going for it and all that, I think people will be knackered after a week, because it is. Unfortunately, the weather's been great as well, hasn't it, Matt? It's been, somebody, shined the light on us for a month. It has been lovely, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been great. And I think that what you're saying there about going back to normal, I think is really interesting because, I've been trying to do a lot of exercise. I've been doing my hour outside a day. I've been doing stuff in the house and all that sort of stuff. But I don't think there's any sort of substitute for just the general going and walking around quite, like you do in everyday life. And I think that's something that maybe we take for granted a little bit, just being up and about and keeping you stimulated, not just in terms of your physical health and your physical well-being, but just seeing different people, seeing different places and all that. I imagine when people just start to go back to work as normal, get in the train, walking to work from the train, being at work and, having all these things around them, it's probably going to be quite exhausting, probably quite overwhelming for a lot of people.
That's what I mean. What you don't want to happen is, and this is the danger is there was before the lockdown, it seems like now a different world, doesn't it? People were communicate more digitally anyway, weren't they? Which is not necessarily a great thing rather than face to face. What you don't want is for this, as a consequence, that accelerates even more, that people, rather than meeting in the pub or meeting in a restaurant or whatever, will do something over Skype or Zoom. I never heard of Zoom before the lockdown, you know what I mean? Where that replaces that interaction, and we don't want that. We want to get back to seeing people in face, because you can't be face-to-face contact, can you? When you're interviewing people, you interview people. You'd rather interview people face-to-face, wouldn't you, than sort of over here? You would hope that it doesn't. I would imagine as well, other companies are looking at this and thinking we can make people work at home more than what we are in office. Rather than buy expensive office space, get people to work at home, because we can show we can work. And you don't really want that in some respects, because we learn a lot by being with people.
I suppose one of the worries about that, which I was thinking of the other day, is that I think a lot of companies are just sort of find out how to get by without people at the moment, and you wonder when it comes back to it, and you've got people who aren't fairly, you've got people who just aren't working at the moment, who are on 0-hour contract.
Yeah.
I imagine for a lot of those people, it'll be concerned whether they might get taken back on again, because like you said about us as human beings, we adapt and sort of can just get by. I think it'd probably be the same with those companies. They'll just sort of find a way of getting through. They'll find a way of making money regardless, and that could be a worry for a lot of people.
Absolutely, but it's every day. Take to paraphrase a football quote, take every day as it comes. You know what I mean? It's just you don't know, do you? You don't know what the future holds, both here and around the world. I think we'll come out of this at a different place, and that's what football will look like. And dare I say, that's going to be another challenge, isn't it?
Yeah. And you mentioned there about the content that you've been doing, and what a lot of people have been putting out. It's a lot of looking back, and I think I'm just sort of thinking about this before we started speaking, and I sort of thought of it as in a funny sort of way that everyone's sort of delving into your territory, Gav, about Everton, and sort of looking at your niche. But I mean, you like you said, Dave, you've done the 84-85 account, which is some absolutely amazing clips of the goals and highlights from that season. Have you been encouraged that the interest is still there in the historical side of Everton?
And not just about Everton, just about football in general. I think it's great. I think it has a certain shelf life. You don't want to do 12 months time. So, you end up repeating. But I think it's good to just look at other avenues and talk about different things. So I think that's good. I mean, and the other thing as well is some stuff's come to light or is being posted that I've not been seen before. 85-86, we played in the Screen Sports Super Cup, which was like a sort of replacement competition with being banned from Europe with Liverpool and Man United and stuff. And we played Man United at Old Trafford, 85-86, 1-4-2. One of the best games. United have won every game that season. One of the best Everton games I've ever been to. Was there, great game. Only saw a couple of the goals for the first time this week after 35 years. There's a fantastic. I don't know if you've seen it. I posted it on Tuesday. Crawford Miles, who works for that, is part of Everton Heritage Society. He's got loads of massive loads of Everton stuff on DVD. And Kem Sheedy scored a great goal in the second half. Real P-roller that went about 100 miles an hour, to the corner. And I was standing right behind the goal. So I was in a line between Sheedy, the ball, and where I was standing, and I'd seen it go right in. And you're thinking, I'll never ever see that goal again. It turned up on Tuesday, because Sheedy's other goal was posted, and Crawford posted it on Tuesday, and I'd never seen it before. And it's just, I thought, well, how great is that, well worth watching. It stayed. Kevin's shot stayed hit, as they say.
Yeah, I think I saw that one. It's like one of those ones where when a striker just catches it dead cleanly, just stays a foot above the ground the whole way.
I don't know what's it. See Gary Bailey's. Have a look at Gary Bailey's dive. He's the United keeper. The ball's in the back of the net, and he does like a dive. When you're playing a goal in five-a-side and you don't really play a goal, and somebody scores, and you do a pathetic dive.
Customary effort at the end.
To show that you actually made an effort. Gary Bailey, who was a professional goalkeeper, does that dive, and it was a great goal, that great night. So it's got some good stuff like that.
I think it's one of the other things I was going to ask you as well. In addition to seeing new stuff, I imagine you've watched that Bayern Munich game back, tens, if not, maybe 100 times or so now.
Yeah. I've seen it a couple of times, yeah.
But even then, do you find yourself watching that game and knowing what happens and knowing what the crowd was like and knowing the players who scored and all that sort of thing?
Yeah.
Do you still find yourself picking up little nuances and little different things? I suppose it's like going back to
watching old stuff. Absolutely, yeah, you do. I think also as well, time also changes perspective on things. And so a game that maybe looked really fast when you watched it 20 years ago, because the modern game's so fast, doesn't look as fast anymore, stuff like that. Oh yeah, I mean, there's always great things in crowds, If you ever watch Adrian Heath's famous goal at Highbury in 1984, the FA Cup semi-final, which is my favourite ever moment ever, if you ever watch that, it comes from a free kick taken by Peter Reid, and so Ruben Agboola handballs it by the byline, and Peter Heath goes over to take the free kick. If you watch it on YouTube, and I remember seeing this at the time. There's a lad behind Peter Heath, and he goes like this, straight inside of the cross. Like, you know what I mean? He just does like, you can watch it, and he's there, you know, and you're thinking, I would love to have seen him.
Yeah,
after that, you know what I mean? After the goal, you know, just make it like they're going, you know, like this. And I thought that I love things like that you see in crowds. I mean, one of the way coverage has changed in football is, we were talking about this with the Borussia Mönchengladbach game, mate. Is we watched that for 90 minutes, 100 minutes, whatever we watched. There was no crowd shots at all. It was just on. It was just on the football,
wasn't it?
Yeah. You know, and the way coverage of television has changed a lot. Is we now have a lot of, you know, natural players getting treated for injury and stuff like that. Is we have a lot of crowd shots. The TV tries to recreate the atmosphere, you know, reflect the atmosphere of the game in the living room, isn't it? Which you never had that with coverage years ago, you know. So yeah, but you do know, so when you watch old games, how much not only has the game changed, but how the coverage of the game has changed so much, you know. Commentating, you know, if you ever watch old games, if a player gets offside, even though he's quite clearly onside, the commentator doesn't say anything and goes, you know, because that wasn't their job. It's far more critical now, isn't it, and analytical. Where, you know, I've watched some really bad offside decisions. You know, normally that we get them against Liverpool, you know, mostly, but the commentator does not really, even though it's blindingly obvious the player is onside, the commentator says nothing. Where now you get like a real critique of the referee and linesmen and stuff like that, you know. So yeah, it's when you watch old games, it's changed a lot, and you see these not so much nuances, but it's good to see the way style has changed over the years.
I suppose it's like going back and watching one of your favourite films or something, isn't it? Like, you know, I watched Goodfellas, which is my favourite film, a couple of weeks ago. Yeah. And even though I've seen that loads of different times, I still pick up on different things in that, which I've not really got onto previously, and little things you can sort of take away from it each time. So maybe it's a bit like that. But on that Adrian Heath goal, I speak to, my dad. I don't know if you saw Adam Jones from the Echo put last week, what's the Everton goal you've celebrated the most in your life?
Yeah.
And he put that one up, and my dad put on Twitter that Adrian Heath goal was his. He got on the pitch afterwards and he said, for some reason, he got the referee. I can't remember what the referee's name was that day, but he remembered it. He got the referee to sign his programme for him, and then he got off.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So, you know.
That's brilliant. I don't think many refs have done that, have they? You know, tell you what, I know they showed at the weekend. I don't think there's many Everton fans wanting Clive Thomas's signature after the 77 semi-final. You know, that was an interesting one. But that's great. That was a great game. That I was in the North Bank, right behind the goal. You know, and when it hit into his head, it's quite funny actually. You know, we do that Everton history thing on City of a Tuesday. It was like this week in Everton's history. I was talking about Ince's goal, and I said, "Oh yeah, you know, it was a really great finish because he headed it in the opposite direction to which the goalie was moving. You know, like you do when you should head the ball. Like, and I thought it was a really good finish. You know, and I've seen an interview with him since. I said, "Oh yeah," I said, "To be honest with you, I didn't meant to do that. So it was a bit of an accident." I meant to head it to the Chilton's right, but it sort of got caught behind it, like, and I headed it in the opposite direction, like, so it was all, I was thinking it was a great finish by Ince. It wasn't. It was a complete utter fluke, you know. But that was a great moment. If he could bottle, I mean, Dad was with to still go the match with and stuff. If I could bottle one moment of watching Everton, you know, like a 15-second cameo self-contained moment, it'll be the 15-30 seconds after that goal. You know, it was just such a fantastic experience and what you go the match format. You know,
was it like a sense of relief, that goal then? Like, you know, I've not seen the entirety of that game, but were Everton just dominant and banging on the door, or did they not played well and sort of just pinched it a little bit?
A bit of everything really in that game, to be honest with you. Southampton had a few good chances. Southampton a good team. They finished second that season to Liverpool, but we deserved to win. And Ince had about 3 or 4 good chances in that game. So when he scored, there was relief, and also I feel that maybe the tide had turned a bit, because that's what happened to us in big games. We always conceded the last minute equaliser, unlucky or whatever. We'd actually done something, ourselves, So it was it was relief. Yeah, I think that's probably a good way of looking at it, because you couldn't have another disappointment. We'd lost obviously the League Cup final to Liverpool. FA Cup was semi-final. Thinking, the other semi that year was Watford Plymouth, and you're thinking, well, if we win this, we're going to be favourites for the final, whatever, So yeah, I think relief's probably a good way of looking at it, Matt. To be honest with you, yeah, good word that. Yeah, I'm making notes of that, by the way. Yeah,
And just the highlights of that goal. Every time I see it, just when it pops up on Twitter and you're scrolling through, I always take time to watch that, because the header and the fans behind the goal and people on the pitch afterwards, it just looks like absolute mayhem.
It was. To be honest with you, at the end it was a little bit naughty, believe. But when my whole experience of watching the goal from behind the net was, it just took an age. Once it hit his head, it appeared, when time stops, it just appeared to take an age to go from his head into the net. So there's just like I think that's what made the celebration so good. If it had been a normal header, which has just gone straight in, that would be fantastic, obviously. But it was because it took ages. It's sort of slow motion the way it goes in off his head, And so it's that sense of anticipation, and then it just appeared to take forever, and then I was just carnage,
So it's like everyone had a deep breath before he. It's like everyone had the entire end just gasped, took a breath in as it was looping towards the goal.
The best goals are like that, aren't they? The best goals are where you don't necessarily. It's not obvious. What's going to happen takes a little bit of time to happen. There's been some great goals. I mean, one of the goals, I was in the press box at the time, but sort of inwardly celebrating, and in a similar manner, was Leon Osmond's against Portsmouth. It was 4:05, the last minute. But it was at the time, wasn't it? It gone over. I think they had it on 2 minutes. It was like 3 minutes on the clock. It was 1-1, and that was another one where it sort of stopped. I think the ball ballooned between a few players in the penalty area, and put it in, And there was a bit of a little bit of time there, last minute, and that. What you talk about goals that have been celebrated the goods and most. I've really seen a goal celebrated more than that, because you can't beat a last minute winner, can you? It's the greatest feeling in football, isn't it? A last minute winner, you can't beat it, And I've seen quite a few. The one I was watching Tim Cahill against Manchester City in 2008 at the Etihad. The corner coming from the far side, it was 0-0. Been a bit of a nothing game. Nods it in, And I remember watching it. Just ran up and down the house about 4 times. It was just up and down the stairs. It's just a great feeling, isn't it? And the worst one's conceding one as well. I think I've spoken about this before. I still have nightmares over the Fulham game in 2012 at Craven Cottage, where we were getting beat 1-0, winning 2-1. Fellaini scored twice. Fellaini's fantastic. Should be. It was one of the most one-sided Premier League games I've ever seen in my life. 2-1, and Moyes, sometimes the substitution didn't work. I think he brought. I can't remember what the substitution he made at the time. And from the break, they got a corner or something, and Steve Sidwell, who every time I see him on Sky, I immediately remember, scored at the end. And I tell you what, all I can say was, thankfully, there was no members of my family or any animals in the immediate vicinity of me. You know what I mean? And it's it's 8 years ago, and I still, it was a league game, it wasn't a cup match, or we got knocked out, or we're playing Liverpool, man. It was Fulham, Craven Cottage, and I still have nightmares about it. It's just one of them things, It's the way it's just it's the complete opposite of conceding of scoring last minute goal, concede one to draw. I think if you get beat 1-0, it's in a strange way. If you get beat 1-0 in the last minute, that's not as bad as where you win and they equalise.
Yeah,
because you're losing 2 points, aren't you? When you're winning, when you draw and you're only losing 1 point, And I think the last minute equaliser is the worst thing in the world, you know.
Oh, yeah, wonderful stuff. Just before we go, then you've got your shirt with you.
Oh yeah. You said about shirts. You won't believe this. I was saying about Borussia Mönchengladbach when we talk about Borussia Mönchengladbach. Tell you what, must have said a lot in that Borussia Mönchengladbach game, wasn't it? Yeah. And I was saying, I had my first Everton kit that season, full kit with handball white boots, and that is the only Everton kit I've ever had. Would you believe? I'm not a great kit man, because even when I went to Rotterdam in '85, I bought me mate's Everton top, and I've got a photograph of me in the stadium, you know, and. But I've got another shirt, and I got this. This is a few years ago, and it was. I got this off work for me 50th.
Oh, class.
I say Gavlar, obviously 50th, and it was several years ago now. Some would say, and it's funny, you know, because when Gavin and Stacey started, I never watched it, and I never knew what. And somebody may call me Gavlar, and I thought Gavlar. I said Gavlar, but you know. But there must be a idiosyncratic thing, you know. Yeah. And then like, 2 or 3 people, different people start, right, Gavlar, and I'm going like, you know, when you think like,
like what's going on here?
Is there somebody having a joke on me? And after about like the 10th person said to me, just say, why did everybody start calling me Gavlar? You know what I mean? Like, and he said, I was Gavin and Stacey. And funny enough, Ronnie Goodless's daughter's called Stacey, and Ronnie lives by ours. And she gave us a lift from the match. Me and Ronnie lift once. And the wife just walked in there.
That's all right.
Yeah. And there you go. And she's my wife anyway. That'll be like that fella, you know, the famous one of the fellas on the
kids who walk in.
One of the fellas got his arm around the girl in the air. And he appears on the screen, he goes like that. Ronnie Goodless's daughter's called Stacey, and she gives a lift back. Me and Ronnie lift back from the match a few years ago. You know, Ronnie got Gavin and Stacey in the car, you know. And but Gavlar, complete. I thought it was going mad. You know, why is everybody calling me Gavlar? But yeah, I'm not a great. I've never been a great replica kit man. To be honest with you, I've never been one of them. Never interested me.
Fair enough.
But I've got this just me Gavlar.
So that's probably about 2016. That shirt is it from? Just for people listening to the podcast, it's the home one from 2016.
Giving the age away there. I think some people say it's looking at me. It's probably about 2005. You know, but yeah, it's.
That assessment wasn't made on what you look like. It was made entirely on the shirt.
No. Well, Matt, too sharp. I've given you stick for the last couple of months. But yeah, it's funny, isn't it? Kits out the reflecting age, time and place, don't the kits? You know, talking about sort of looking back at the past and stuff. Kits are the great one for that, aren't they? You know, I've got that for 50th. Treasures memento.
Brilliant stuff. Gavin, it's been a pleasure. Half an hour nearly, absolutely flown by there.
Yeah. Sorry for my wife, you know, interrupting. No, you know, just
no problem, mate. These things happen. Challenges for us all. Yeah, wonderful stuff. But yeah, do check out what the Twitter account. What's the handle?
It's called Everton 1984-85. You know, very imaginatively titled Twitter feed. And I've just been doing I've been trying to match the games to the times of the year. You know, so I did buy. So now going to you know what happens at the end of that campaign. It's been good. Hard work. I tell you what. I know you did a bit of match report and all that. Doing 90 minutes match reports on Twitter when you know what's happening is hard. It's hard, isn't it? I come away. I had a few drinks last night. It's really difficult, isn't it? Seriously, it is really difficult thing to do, to describe the action, and even just to put on social media. How journalists do it, do a match report of 800 words or whatever, is beyond me. But it's really, and I know what's happening next, you know. But yeah, so have a look at that. It's always good. Plenty of, if you want to see the Bayern Munich stuff, about 20-30 highlight clips from last night on the feed.
Absolutely brilliant stuff. They are really good. Gav, thanks very much. Enjoy the rest of your day,
mate. You take care. You know, and we'll compare haircuts next week, Matt. Okay.
Yeah. If you want to do that, stick with this video here on the Blue Room. Subscribe, share. comment and all that. Does all help us get the video out there to as many people as possible. On Friday, we've got Greg O'Keefe from The Athletic as well, so it should be another interesting chat.
I've shared haircut stories with Greg, to be fair. So, we should have a haircut off or whatever you call it.
I will mention that to him, actually, see what he says.
He said to me last week, he said, I got hair like a bare sofa, which is which I thought, you want to quote that to him, but I think there's a few lads who's not doing a bit worried at the moment about what's happening,
I'll ask him that. But that's been your Brew with Blue on Thursday. Thanks very much for tuning in. We'll speak to you again soon.